Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing with the new Dina Wakley August 2020 releases and making a really simple page using some stamps and some stencils on the denim page in my blue journal. So I'm starting off firstly with a coat of white gesso. I've been really haphazard in how I have put that on because I had no idea where this page was going. I really didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to use some stencils, I knew I wanted to use some of the new stamps, but that was about it. So I started off with this leafy, it's called Flourish, sorry, which I really love. I love how it sort of just flows around the page and fits in really, really nicely. And for some strange reason, I do not know why, I chose Evergreen, which is not a colour I use very often. I'm not really a green person. Blues any day, but I'm not actually really a green person. So I really surprised myself when I picked it up. But I loved it on this page, and you can sort of see how I'm moving the flourish around so I can get this pattern going all over the page. And it sort of just works in beautifully with that lovely light tone of the denim in the background. So because I had leftover paint on my palette, I went around the edges just to sort of darken it up and make it look, I don't know, leafy, frondy, something. I had already cut out some of these stamped images from the new set of stamps called Better Together. Sorry, I just had to look it up. So there's a group of faces, all drawn together, which I really like, but I've found I've actually been cutting the faces apart. I still like it as a group, but I don't know whether I just don't like the way the group's put together or what it is. I tend to pull them apart and put them together in my own way. So I knew I wanted to use those faces on there somewhere, but I really wasn't sure how I was going to do it. And you saw me putting it across the middle of the page. So as I was doing that, I decided I possibly needed to put something as a focus in the middle of the page. And I chose to use this one because I love having text on my page. I chose to stencil this in marine because it's sort of that blue-green colour and it ties in with the two colours I've sort of got going on in the background. While I was stenciling and thinking, you saw me put out some of the tissue paper. I knew I needed to have, if I had those heads on the page, I needed to ground them in some way. So I thought maybe using the tissue paper across the middle of the page might help, but I really didn't like how linear it was. It just didn't flow for me. So then I decided to use a different figure on it, but again I wasn't 100% sure, so I tried sort of mixing it together and putting the other faces on, so I sort of had this crowd of people, but it looked like she was wearing a coat of faces, so that got scrapped too. There was a lot of not mucking around on this page, but it took me a really long time to sort of work out composition wise what I wanted to do, because I had it in my mind I was going to use these stamps. I don't know why, really. I think it's just because I spent the time cutting them all out. It was like, they're there, I'm using them. So while I was still figuring it out, I grabbed my Stabilo oil pencil and did some really scribbly lines around these faces because they were very stark white and I wanted to shade them down somehow. So just with my Stabilo, I went in with a wet paintbrush because Stabilo oil pencil is a water activated pencil. And as soon as you put water on it, you get this beautiful inky line which gives you instant shading. Now you can see some of my faces got very dark because they're quite small and I had a lot of pencil on it. One of the things about stamping on cardboard, you get these beautiful images, but cardboard doesn't react quite the same as watercolor paper, so it sort of sinks everything straight into the cardboard, and if you're very heavy-handed, you get this really dark line really quickly. So just be aware of how you're doing it, and you can always add more, you can't take it away, which is something I learned in primary school, but I don't actually listen to it very often. So I went back to sort of rearranging the faces and trying it out and working out what I wanted to do. And then I sort of came up with this concept, and I don't know, it was probably the mood I was in because I've been having a sort of rough few weeks. And I really liked this composition because you had the girl sort of looking over her shoulder, and all these people, you know, not at her, but all these opinions and just this overwhelming sense of people helping, in inverted commas, which aren't necessarily helpful. And that really spoke to me. And with me personally, I'm a great overthinker. I think of, you know, all the possibilities to the nth degree. I've always got but what if, but what if, but what if. And in my head, while doing this page, those faces were kind of those what ifs, what's going on, how are you going to change this type thing. So that's where my head was going. And it's really funny, I don't know if anyone else does this. I don't necessarily go into having art journal pages having to have a meaning. Like, for example, the page on the left hand side was just me having fun with some stuff I had in my studio and put it together. Didn't have a meaning. I found a quote at the top that was like, oh yeah, that works. You know, no big idea. Whereas this page, I think, took me so long because I probably needed to do something with meaning, but I was trying not to do something with meaning, and in the end, the meaning came out. So it's funny what happens when you just go with your subconscious and let it do its thing. So the words I chose using on this, I ended up cutting another quote apart, and it says, when things change you, which again, lots of things in my life are changing at the moment, and it's, you know, what needs to change me, and what do I just need to go, no, I'm staying the course. In the little scribbly handwriting down the bottom, I was talking about my Greek chorus of people in my background or in my head, you know, talking to me about all the things I should be doing or what I shouldn't be doing and so on. So it ended up being very cathartic doing this page, which is what art journaling's all about. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of the new products. Until next time, bye for now.